Hello everyone, it's me, Raquel SSG. Hope everyone is doing good today. A little bit tired today, but it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how are you doing, Myra?
Uh, Feel a little tired today.
You too? It's
Yeah.
supposed to be this weekend. Um, it's supposed to be really cold this weekend.
Yeah, it did mention it was going to be a bit on the cold side. But I think that might be the last we have for a while because around the 5th or 6th, it's going to be getting closer to 60. Or at least it's going to be around 54 here. I mean, I don't know where it might be warmer where you're at when that happens. But either way, yay. There's
Yep.
a there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it's not a train.
Yeah. Severe weather alert. Very cold wind chills as low as zero expected.
Woof.
From midnight Friday night to 11 a.m. Saturday. Very
Yeah, I think
cold wind
we're going to
chill.
have like a low of 3.
Yeah, very
Like,
cold wind chill values as low as zero can lead to exposure of hyperthermia with
uh,
prolonged exposure. So yeah, definitely stay. I'm definitely gonna stay inside this weekend. I am not going outside at all. So, so how was your sleep last night?
eh.
Meh.
I had a hard time getting comfortable. Now
Mm-hmm.
tonight my neck's hurting, so I'm just like, eh.
For me, I slept like a dog.
Is that good?
Yep.
Oh, okay, because I wasn't sure. I've heard people sleep like a rock, but I also don't know rocks to sleep. So
Well, that too, I guess. I don't know. Hmm. Let's see here. I can't even tell what that number is. Damn.
uh, where?
On my reference sheet.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely not gonna be able to help you from here.
No, I didn't think so.
I thought I was looking at the news and stuff, so like I didn't. I had to come over to this page to see. I was like, what? Oh no.
It's all good. All right. Yes, I'll figure it out later. Howdy, folks. Hey, Vile Mike. Just
Oh
shopping to
yeah.
engage in a piece of algorithmic gods. Awesome. Good to see you, Vile Mike. He's like over, like, Chris Knight's channel, The Real Review 3000, Myra.
Sorry.
He hangs out with Chris Knight's channel.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure,
Yeah. I recognize the.
Avatar.
Yeah. I was gonna say picture because the avatar just was not coming to me.
Myra's has been on my channel, says
Yeah.
Vile Mike. Okay.
Yeah. It's just been a bit because like I generally recognize people by their avatars, not always by their names necessarily, which is
Right.
weird. I don't know why, but so when she had mentioned you before, I was like Vile Mike, and I was like, isn't he part of the or the comic book group? Because I think there was something. There was a guy named Mike over there, but he had a name before the name Mike, so that's what I thought it was. Although I can't remember who I was thinking of now.
I don't know.
Mm.
I stream mostly Sunday mornings, too early for some people. Right on.
Yeah. Peanut, quit making noise.
Doggy.
Yeah, she's making little noises, and I'm just like, "Brr." Like she's sniffing really loud.
Like she was snoring in her sleep yesterday.
Oh, that's more of a low rumble. Uh, Jeez.
Right, Moyer?
Oh, well, all right. Well, I guess I'll answer it, but like I won't get into the whole thing. But
Is
uh,
it anything about politics or anything?
it's like it's something that happened within that.
Then I don't need to know right now.
Okay, I mean, it's just kind of silly and dumb.
Like
All
how
right,
silly.
well, like all right. So you know how important embassies are, like having a country's embassy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like even though it's on American soil, it's still a little bit that country in that spot inside those doors.
Uh-huh.
Well, apparently, some ICE agents decided to walk into the Ecuadorian consulate in Minneapolis, and they were escorted out. Apparently, they were looking for people to arrest in there. You can't, as an ICE agent or even as a police officer, you can't just walk in to an embassy or a consulate to arrest citizens of that country. That's kind of a
No.
no-no. That's actually a big fucking no-no. And they claimed it wasn't clearly marked. And the image they have for this article is the front door with the seal on top saying it is the Ecuadorian consulate. Like the seal is right there at the top, so it tells you it is clearly marked in two places. And so I just thought that was a funny thing to use that image for that article. I'm like, so
Oh
like
wow.
yeah, so basically it's kind of political because you really aren't supposed to just walk in there and try to grab somebody. Like I was like, oh damn. Like can you imagine what would happen if I went to I don't know, any other country's embassy or consulate here in America and try to walk right through the front door and act like I own the place? Oh shit. That's
E.
why
Just
I was saying it was
working.
kind of political but kind of
Yeah,
not.
I
It was something
getcha.
yeah, it was something dumb that happened within that.
Just working on the next Violet review. Only 6 months late. Hope to post it on the 31st. And watching the old X-Men animated series because the next season of X-Men 97 is coming out or just did. About that, I don't. It's coming. It's coming. I believe later this summer. Vile Mike.
Yeah.
Greetings, Ashi. How are you
Yo yo,
doing?
Sashi.
By international law, an embassy or consulate is foreign soil.
Right. And that's
Yep.
why I was like, oh boy. So yeah, I wasn't trying to give a pro or con about ICE on her channel, but that particular article, I was like, you gotta be shitting me. You know, you can't just do that. Ah. Oh boy, must have thought he
Yeah.
hit the jackpot. Like, nope. No.
That doesn't how it works or anything
Yeah.
like that.
I think he got a little bit rambunctious.
Yes. Confirmed to be released on Disney Plus. Multiple reports pointing towards a summer 2026 release. So hopefully later this summer. I thought X-Men 97 was coming sooner than that. I watched all of season 1 and most of season 2 while looking today. But I'm confused. So hold on a minute. Like, yeah, hold on a second. So, yeah, season 1's already out, but season 2 hasn't come out yet. Like, that isn't gonna come out till, like, this summer. Are you talking about, like, the original X-Men animated series? Uh, I'm on foreign soil at the moment. Yeah, season 2 hasn't come out yet. Foreign to you guys, I mean. Yeah, I gotcha. I already canceled Disney Plus. To the high seas for me then. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I will be on foreign soil this weekend, lol, going to Mexico. I am rewatching the visual series and then season 1 of X-Men 97 as a refresher for when season 2 comes out. Oh, okay, I got you. So you watching the visual series and then the first series of X-Men 97, and just for a refresher for when season 2 comes out this summer. I'm pretty much going to do that too. I'm going to like refresh myself watching first season X-Men 97. I know what happens to the end of the last episode, which is sad.
Yeah.
There was nothing worth for me to keep paying for Disney Plus. Right on, get you. I get you on that. Yeah, I don't have Disney Plus either, but Miss File does. Right. I have Disney Plus, and I do use it to watch movies on there. I only have Disney Plus and Netflix for streaming over here. Right. That's pretty much what I have. Just Netflix and Disney Plus. Nothing else. Oh wait. Like I'm forgetting HBO Max. I also have HBO Max. Um, but that's it. Oh yeah, if Amazon Prime, Paramount, and HBO Max aren't available here, ah damn. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. Yes, I have Disney Plus, Netflix, Amazon Prime, and HBO Max, but I don't have Paramount though. I'm totally forgetting. Uh, why did not go through? What the heck? Alright, there we go. I only pay for Hulu, but my roommate gave me access to her Apple TV account. A friend gave me his Paramount Plus, and Miss Vile has Disney Plus and Netflix. But I still end up watching Tubi and Pluto TV. LOL. Right on. And YouTube, of course. No Paramount. How are you going to watch Starfleet 90210? I don't watch Starfleet. Guys, I am streaming on Rumble, so if you guys could subscribe to me there, I would appreciate it. I'm not really that big into like Star Trek. I don't have a Rumble account. That's fine. Japanese anime just streams on YouTube in this region, so I get to watch it for free, same time as Japan. Awesome.
Ooh.
What was that?
Oh, one of those little pop-ups when I'm looking at my, how do they say it? The High Seas website.
Virus warning.
Yeah, it just does that, or it's some silly little pop-up. I don't know. But there's a new movie called Send Help. And I'm like, ooh. And it's this Rachel McAdams. She's kind of like, I guess, this kind of nerdy introvert that gets walked on at her work. And so she has to go with her boss somewhere. And the plane crashes on a desert island. She turns out to be a savage motherfucker. And so she decides that's the time to get back all the fucking what the hell is that cat doing on the table? All the punishment and all the mistreatment he did to her. She's going to make his life hell. And I'm like, ooh. Let's see what cats are doing what. Hopper, get off the fucking table. What kind of horse and pony show you think we're running here? Down. You're never on the table. today? I think I'm gonna melt some chocolate.
Sounds good. My kids have been trying to get me back into it, and I tried to make them watch the classics. What? Oh wait. Sorry, I missed something. I missed a comment. Nice. I don't watch that much anime anymore. I don't. Sorry. Nice. I don't watch that much anime though anymore. My kids have been trying to get me back into it, and I tried to make them watch the classics. What kind of classics? Send Help looks good. I'll have to check it out. The trailer, I mean, a little later. While might be because the anime is doing well, they have upped the animation on shows now. We're getting movie quality animations these days. Yes, we are. Oh, it's Dooku. Hey, Dooku. No, long time no see.
How's it going, gals?
Going good, staying warm, and not going inside out so much because it's supposed to be really cold this weekend.
Yeah, the beautiful bounty of nature has been quite spectacular, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am reminded how much I absolutely love shoveling snow, and I mean that with the utmost sarcasm.
Mm.
Yeah, it's been a while. How have you been?
Doing good. Just doing like my content. I did my Wednesday season 2 review last year. Just playing a lot of video games like Fortnite, Gotham Knights, and then I need to get back into Hogwarts Legacy because there's a certain level that I'm having trouble with. It's like the stupid boss. It's a pensive guardian, but it's like boss level kind of pensive guardian, and I'm having trouble defeating it. So I need to work on that after I'm done with Gotham Knights. That's pretty much what I have been up to so far.
Oh, well, I don't think I can help you out there. I think the last video game I played was Warhammer Total War 3, and that was probably like 3 or 4 years ago.
Right on. Speaking of Warhammer, have you seen the theater poster for the upcoming Warhammer movie starring Henry Cavill?
I haven't seen the poster for it yet, and I will admit I'm slightly apprehensive with how Warhammer is becoming more popular and slightly more mainstream.
Wait, is it Warhammer or is it Highlander? Wait a minute. We need to double check.
Well, I know Henry Cavill was working on a Warhammer project for Amazon Prime, I believe.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about Highlander. It's probably Warhammer.
No, it's Highlander. My bad.
Oh, Yeah, I'd kind of actually like to know what's going on with that Amazon Prime Warhammer project because I know they announced that a while back, but I haven't really heard anything about it. It was green. Let's see. I got the AI response, of course. The project was greenlit in late 2023. Is developing under a tight non-disclosure agreement with no official release date yet confirmed. However, late 2027 or early 2028 is the anticipated window for the series debut. Again, I'm really apprehensive. Like, I like Henry Cavill. And if anybody is going to head a Warhammer 40,000 project, I want it to be him because he is very faithful to the source material. And I
Yes,
think
he
he has
is.
yeah, definitely. Again, same thing with how he was with the Witcher.
Mhm.
And he is the type of person who, if they try to deviate or change things, he will walk away. So he
Yeah,
has the type of pull and sway that I think he can essentially keep the showrunners and producers on track and not bastardize the source material. But that being said, I don't really have a lot of faith in Games Workshop because they have proven themselves to be, how shall I put this politely?
Malarkey.
They seem to not care about their intellectual property as much as the fans of the IP itself. And I guess another way to put it is they seem to care about chasing the mythical modern audience and not just sticking to what people enjoy. Which also really irritates me because, hey, look, I know a lot of people are, they have differing opinions on the whole female Adeptus Custodes things. I understand it is a retcon. There have been retcons before in the past. Is it that big of a deal? Kind of yes, kind of no. On the one hand, it does show that Games Workshop is willing to retcon something that is very well established in their lore. And what I find more annoying about that is not having female custodes. It's more of, okay, if you're willing to retcon something that is so well established, what else are you willing to retcon? That part I don't like, but that's not my biggest issue. My biggest issue is, dude, you have the frickin' Adeptus Sororitas. You have the Sisters of Battle. Like, why didn't you just go with that? The Sisters of Battle are badass as hell. Like, can we please get a Sisters of Battle show? It would be literally all women. Like, can we please have that? Like, I don't need female custodes. I want Sisters of Battle. Female custodes to me is boring. Sisters of Battle, on the other hand, yes, please give me that all day, every day. And they are my third favorite faction in 40K. And I'm very irritated with Amazon not going with Sisters of Battle. It is a personal point of contention.
Right. Let's see. I think I have the visuals for Henry Cavill's appearance in Highlander, like the posters.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was doing a Highlander series. This guy's schedule must be frickin' booked to the max. How on earth does he have time to play World of Warcraft?
Good question. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I really hope this Amazon Prime series is going to be the Horus Heresy because I want to see that.
All right. I have to come back because my computer is asking me if I want to share stuff. I have to close and reopen the browser. So I'll be right back.
No.
Moira, you have
Gotcha.
the floor.
Oh no.
Be back in a few minutes.
Yes, dear.
All right. See you in a few minutes.
All right.
What's up, Moria?
Oh, what's up, Sugar Plum? How you doing?
Not too bad. Yeah. Stuff has been going on, and currently, well, for the past 3.5 years now, at war with the SEC and FINRA, but that is a totally different topic of conversation that I'm not going to get into because it is not relevant for this particular stream.
Well, I feel like it's relevant.
Well, I don't want to bore everybody with financial stuff because that is That is what it boils down to. It's all financial and legal and all sorts of very,
So
very
bastards,
fun stuff.
so bastards are trying to keep you down, huh?
Let's just say it makes Enron and WorldCom look like nothing by comparison.
That was those were Ponzi schemes, weren't they?
One could argue that, yes.
Okay.
This actually looks more like it might qualify for a RICO scam,
Oh damn.
and it's between the Financial Information Forum that represents broker dealers and market makers directly contacting the SEC and FINRA to engage in actions that do not protect but actually harm retail investors.
Okay.
And we have the FOIA request to prove it. It is
Ooh.
quite the debacle.
Oh my god, it sounds actually kind of spicy. Rare.
It really is. And we have gotten the attention of people like Charles Payne from Fox Business, Ann Vandersteel from America Made Foundation, Laura Logan, and also General Michael Flynn.
General Flynn.
Yep.
That, you know what? I feel bad for poor General Flynn because, like, I met him, what was it, 2 years ago? 2 years ago. And I got to say that they've taken the spark out of that guy. I just don't think he's got the same fight in him he used to, you know?
I mean, I don't really blame him because he did get a very short end of the stick, so to
Right.
speak.
Although I have seen him on Twitter recently, and it does look like he's getting some of that fire back. He doesn't seem to be walking in lockstep no more. Because
Well,
I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but like the circle he has been running in for the last like 4 or 5 years, like he seems like he's kind of deviating from that a little, and I'm proud to see it. I hate a bunch of groupthink bullshit. You know what I mean?
I'm right there with you. I think I've said this before in the past. I don't know if I've said it on the stream before, but I much prefer to have conversations with people who disagree with me because I find that to be much more interesting and much more fulfilling.
As long as they're not pricks about it.
Yeah, if they're willing
Because
to have an
some folks
honest
are
conversation.
Right.
I-
Some people be intolerable as shit, you know? Like, it takes a lot for me to remove people from my Facebook, but the last 4 or 5 days, I've had to remove like 3 or 4 people because the stupidity was radiating so hard. It was injuring my cones and rods in my eyes. The stupidity was so bad. I was like, God damn. I had to avert my eyes. I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry. You know, I gotta go.
No, I understand exactly what you're saying.
With them. It's just their take was so fucking bad. I couldn't stand to watch it anymore.
Oh no, I understand exactly what you're saying, and it is frustrating when you can't have like an honest, good faith conversation with somebody, and it just devolves into finger pointing, whataboutism, and it's like, dude, I don't have time.
I know. Oh my god, the whataboutism is crazy recently. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to code this that you'll understand, but I won't break Raquel's rule. But like, one side is like, well, so and so did it. It's like, I thought we were supposed to be better than side A. Why are we going, what's good for the goose is good for the gander? I thought we were supposed to be better. Now it's just everybody's going to be misbehaving. That's what we're doing now, you know? And it's like, god damn.
And it's unfortunate because I would say each side of the coin has its own issue when it comes to that, and it just becomes very tiresome.
It's all a shit show, no doubt at all. Like, I like to call myself an equal opportunity hater, right? You know what I mean? Like, if somebody's being stupid, I'll say it. Like, I don't care what side of the aisle. Like, I don't care.
Well, I kind of agree with my my friend Jensen, who used to be on the Mad Dodge podcast. Unfortunately, we don't do that anymore because Mad Dodge passed away many years ago. Rest in peace, Mad Dodge.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But my friend Jensen, who used to be on there, gave me the best advice I think I've ever heard in my life, and it's literally this simple. I don't even try to engage seriously anymore. I just point and laugh, and then if somebody comes back, I just say, "Look, I don't care. Like, your opinion doesn't mean anything to me anymore at this point in time. Like, I'm effectively completely disengaged. If there's something important and I find it important, then yes, I'm going to spend my time and I'm going to fight for it. But if it's just like people sharing opinions or trying to stir up drama or trying to engagement farm or any stuff like that. I don't care.
Don't do those. No, the stuff I argue about, I feel is really important because it's I'm trying to think of what fancy. It's indicative of a much deeper problem.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, if you have a valid point to make and you can back it up and it's not driven by emotion, that's one thing. I'll go ahead and listen to it, and I will compare that to my opinion. And if I'm wrong, you know what? Look, I'm wrong, and I'll admit I'm wrong. I'm not above that. Like,
Right.
I'm not here to try to like reaffirm my own ego or my own, ideals or worldviews. But if you can't prove me wrong, then what do I care? It doesn't mean anything to me.
Right.
Again, if you're going to come to a gunfight with no ammunition, then I'm not going to waste my ammunition on you. Like, there's no point.
Now, my parents, there was like a saying they were so fond of. I think they got it from a movie, but they were saying something like, "Don't show up to a battle of wits unarmed."
Well, yeah, exactly. And I guess the thing that drives me nuts about political discourse, and I would apply this to both sides of the proverbial coin,
yes, absolutely,
is if you can't argue your position using logic and the only thing you can rely upon is emotion, then that's not a conversation worth having.
Right. I mean, I understand that. And like the silliness, and a lot of the silliness is coming from my side of the aisle.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anywho, it gets too like into that. Like,
we're breathing too hard, honey. Don't worry.
Yeah, I was just trying to kill up the. I was just trying to eat up dead air.
Oh, I you know what?
I was just waiting for you guys to be done, and like it is getting a little bit too into the political side. I mean, that's
right.
Yeah, don't let us get into the weeds.
Yeah, that's a no here.
All right, we shall change the subject, and I will start off with a sentence I have never said before, but I can't wait to see that Highlander movie.
Highlander.
Yep. I can't wait to see that.
Directed by Chad Stahelski.
We'll just say it's the guy who directed John Wick.
Yeah, but here's the first picture.
Well, I will admit I'm not terribly excited based upon the background, but Henry Cavill does look good.
It doesn't look like it fits the front image.
Yeah. It looks a little too copy-paste. Now that looks good.
That looks good.
This second one.
It has the right color. It looks like it actually fits the background. Yes. Yeah, the other one, it was like, I was about to say something that I just kind of like, what the hell am I looking at? It was kind of throwing me off.
I mean, both pictures look good.
Well, all right, go back to the first one real quick.
Yeah, the first one looks a little too copy-paste to me.
Yeah, he had a little more red light reflecting off of him, like he was in the room with those lanterns. It would be more believable. But it looked like they took him out of the church and just added a different background, and it fucked me up.
Actually, I know exactly what it is. It looks like he's standing in front of a green screen because he probably is.
Right, yeah, and it threw me off, and that's why I was like...
Then I guess they'll have to retouch that then.
Yeah. Oh, you
now, don't get me wrong, though. It could be really good. It could be really good. It's just in that
image.
Particular iteration, it looks a little. I can't.
It's unfinished.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm trying to be nice about this, but I guess the nicest thing I can say is it looks lazy.
It looks like bless their heart, they tried. But yeah, but the second image looks fabulous.
The second one I like a lot.
I'm excited to see this. I like movies, but I'm assuming just like any other Highlander movie, they're going to have flashbacks to the past. I love movies that show like stuff going on like hundreds of years ago in a movie. Mm-hmm. I get a kick out of it. And so like anything that's either time travel-y or somebody from the past like this, where it's not really time travel, but he's from the past. Like I dig movies like that. And so and Henry Cavill is nothing to sneeze at, certainly. So I'm excited to see it.
Right. I mean, I hear you with the first pick. It's, I guess, still unfinished. There still needs to be tweaking, but but at the same time, it still looks good. Even though there should be some minor tweaking with it. The second pick looks good as well.
Well, and also this one in particular definitely looks like Highlander.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I'm feeling chipper.
The first one, I don't know. It doesn't look like Highlander to me.
It looks like I copy and pasted some shit trying to make a thumbnail for my YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Right.
I'll be honest.
Right.
I put it together.
I'm going to get to the chat. Thank you guys for being patient. Classes like Trigun, Cowboy Bebop, Bubblegum Crisis, Macross / Robotech, and Evangelion. I'm more of a fan of the original animated Trigun series. I haven't really watched the reboot version of it. Yeah, love Cowboy Bebop. Haven't really seen the live action TV series because I'd rather not. Bubblegum Crisis. I kind of started watching that, but I'll go back into it, I guess. Macross and Robotech. I'm not really familiar with that, but I have watched a movie about Macross. I think it was. Let's see. I believe it was Macross. Macross. Yes, Macross. Do you remember Love? Movie from 1984. That's the one I saw. Evangelion. Uh, I'm familiar with it, but not too familiar with it. But since I haven't really watched the anime, Highlander is one project he is working on, and possibly Warhammer. Another is Australian produced live action Voltron. Oh, nice. Because they need to go with something more recognizable to the average person, and 40K is still very niche without much cultural osmosis, other than Space Marines, of course. Not familiar with that.
And that is the thing about Warhammer is it's niche because the entire premise is absurd. Like the whole thing is it. The best way I like to explain it is this: there is no hyperspace, there is no warp drive. If you want to travel from planet to planet, you quite literally rip a hole in reality and travel through the warp, which is basically just Event Horizon style hell. You might be eaten by demons if the Galar field goes down, and you can't do that without the God Emperor's corpse sitting on the golden throne being fed 1,000 psychers per day so that you have the light of the Astronomicon as a navigation beacon, much like a lighthouse.
What the fuck?
And that's just kind of the general premise.
Right.
My head just.
Yeah, it's like that.
Oh.
Hi, I'm not an artist in the traditional sense. Am I allowed here? Yes, you're more than welcome, Lumpy. Hey, Calaboyra. Hello, Lumpy.
Yeah.
If you want to talk politics, I do a stream called Pre-Show Politics on Sunday mornings before my main CNA stream to get it out of the way for the nerd chat. Something you should, maybe you should really think about that.
Yeah.
Something, you can chat more politics.
I mean, if I'm available, I wouldn't mind joining.
Yeah. Maybe something like Moira and Dooku can participate in, because we don't really talk politics here. Because we just stay away from that.
Yeah, the only politics I care about as far as these streams are concerned is nerd stuff. The Imperium did nothing wrong.
Right. I have not followed up on Henry Cavill Highlander movie, but as a fan of the franchise, I am gonna go see it. Right on. There are only 2 topics today politically I'd rather discuss with people, but it's most of the time not worth it. Gotcha.
I agree with Lemon Pie on that one.
But how do beat the first Highlander movie? A Frenchman playing a Scotsman with his best friend, and an Egyptian working for Spain playing by a Scotsman. LOL.
There was a lot going on with that.
Yeah. 40K lore is effing nuts.
It really is. It really is. If you're not familiar with 40K lore, I highly suggest going and finding Luton's channel and start with either the Necrons and the War in Heaven, or start with the Tyranids. You should probably start with the Necrons and the War in Heaven, because that will give you a good idea of like where the timeline goes. But honestly, throw a dart at the dartboard and you're going to be like, what on earth? Like, what is going on? And the answer is yes, stuff is going on. All of the stuff is going on.
Right, then. You are nerds. Welcome, Sandra Horn.
Yes, we are.
Y'all are welcome anytime. Thank you, Vile Mike.
Yeah.
And I've lost my Rumble chat because, unfortunately, it is not, for some odd reason, when I'm streaming on Rumble, anything I typed into StreamYards, it won't go over to Rumble, so I have to have the chat, Rumble chat popped out on my screen. A little bit disappointing, a little annoying, but oh well.
Oh, also real quick, just as an aside, I forgot who made the comment about Outlaw Star, Trigun, Bubblegum Crisis, Cowboy Bebop. My controversial opinion is this: Outlaw Star is better than Cowboy Bebop.
Well, I need to rewatch Outlaw Star because it's been a while. So I can't really give my thoughts about that.
Yeah, I'm sticking to my guns on that one. Pun intended.
That's fine. My dad had a battalion of Space Marines with their 4 tanks as I was going up.
We had an entire battalion. That's a lot of money to drop. Warhammer 40K is a very expensive hobby.
Yep. Remember Nerds the Candy? Yeah, I remember.
I want nerds now.
I do not remember what the tanks are called because I only dipped my toe in it. Alright, I understand.
The tank for the Space Marines would be either a Predator, a Ball Predator, a Razorback, or a Rhino. And yes, I am a massive 40K nerd. I'm not going to apologize for it.
Nah, it's all good. We're all nerds here.
I mean, the nerds are going to take over the world. We are the future.
Outlaw Star.
Oh, Vile disagrees with me.
Cowboy Bebop.
I'm sorry, Vile. I'm saying Outlaw Star is better for two particular reasons.
You know, you're entitled to your opinion. If you know, for me, I'm not really sure, but Vile might think differently. We don't have to agree on everything, so it's okay.
Well, I'm going to give my 2 reasons real quick.
Okay.
1, Cowboy Bebop does not have a cat girl, so Aisha Clan. And number 2, Cowboy Bebop does not have a gun that literally shoots magic spells. Like, I'm sorry. I'm going with Outlaw Star.
Alrighty. Is this Shattered calling us sweet as candy? Huh? I'm lost.
Sweet and maybe a little bit sour.
Sweet and sour? Usually, like...
Oh, the Nerds Candy.
Oh, okay. He's talking about
okay, yeah, sorry. It was taking me a minute. The Nerds. Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't usually like sour and sweet together kind of thing. I feel like the sourness takes over the sweet.
Okay, fair point. I can't really disagree with that.
I'm
want to.
I'm also not a fan of mint and chocolate because like mint just reminds me of toothpaste.
I'm not a big fan of mint. It
And I don't like if I'm gonna have a mint, I'm gonna have it by itself, not with chocolate or ice cream, because I prefer that way. And also, it's just the taste with mint and chocolate is overpowering. It just reminds me of toothpaste. And like something I don't really particularly like with chocolate or ice cream.
actually, weirdly enough, mint, honey, and vanilla go really well together. But it has to be balanced because mint can be very overpowering.
It can.
But if done correctly, it's fine.
He preferred real world armies, but Babylon, Egyptian, Greek, Roman, World War One, World War Two, etc. When he died, he had literally tens of thousands of tiny figures he hand painted. Wow.
Those are probably worth a significant amount of money at this point in time. It's hard to find miniatures like that nowadays that aren't going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Right. Raquel and Boy are sweet with a small touch of tangy sour, like nerds candy. I'm pretty much like a gummy bear. One thing I saved was a Greek sailing ship he painted, but used an old pair of his silk underwear coated in resin for the sail. LOL.
That's amazing. I thoroughly support this.
Hey, use the fabric of the old underwear. Why not? Just
Hey, necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah, recycle.
That is really funny. I like that a lot. I find that way more amusing than I probably should. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure I still have a lot of pewter Warhammer 40,000 miniatures that are not opened that I could probably sell.
You don't want to keep them?
Unfortunately, I just don't have much of a desire to play Warhammer 40,000 as far as the tabletop war game goes anymore. Mostly because I don't have anyone to play against. Kind of the same thing with Magic the Gathering. My friend group, when it came to all of that, has moved across the country and they don't really engage in any of that anymore. So it's like, well, there is the nostalgia aspect to it, but yeah, what's more important, the nostalgia or the money? And I guess maybe I could leave it as like an heirloom or something, but yeah. I'm not getting rid of my Battlefleet Gothic stuff, though. Battlefleet Gothic they don't make anymore, and I'm much more of a spaceship nerd than anything else.
Right on. One thing I say was, oops, sorry, never mind, wrong one. They were black and red striped. They were actual colors used on those ships. Well, if you want to sell them, I know an eBay store that does consignment. LOL.
I might have to contact you about that. Because mine go back to like the mid to late 1990s and early 2000s, and I'm pretty sure I have a few unopened Razorbacks and some Ultramarine Dreadnoughts and stuff with the very bland old school red borders, where 40K still looked like let's just say unrefined.
Speaking of which, hold on. Space Marines.
So the fork tank, that would be something that had the dozer plow on the front of it. So that's probably a razorback, maybe a predator, or it might be a vindicator. Did it have like a mortar cannon in the front, or did it have like a classic tank turret, or did it look more like an armored personnel carrier? Hey, if you could answer that, I'd probably know what you're talking about. Like if it had like a tank turret, that would be a predator. If it had what looked more like a machine gun type of turret, not like a full on tank turret, that's probably a razorback. If it didn't have a turret at all, that would be a rhino. Those look like APCs because, well, they are. And if it had a mortar cannon on the front, that's a vindicator. And yes, I am very nerdy like this. I'm not apologizing for it.
Yeah, it's
nobody would
like,
expect you to.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a huge 40K nerd. I love Warhammer 40,000 because it is ridiculously absurd. Oh, hello, computer notification. I do not wish to update at this moment in time. Please go away.
Right.
I understand that too well. More like an APC had half a dozen of them, some with small turrets, some with bigger turrets, some with motors.
Okay, so if it was one that had like a coax turret where it just looked like a machine gun, that's probably a rhino. If it looked like one that had like a shielded turret but not completely enclosed, that's a razorback. And if it was one with the mortar, that's a vindicator, and that's a siege weapon.
You sound so ferocious when you talk about this shit.
I love 40K. I've been a fan of 40K since I was in 4th grade. So I actually won a tournament. I got a free like $40 model out of it.
Nice.
Ooh.
Mostly for one particular reason. I was playing Tyranids, and my entire strategy was everything is close combat. Everyone has poison sacks, rending claws, and scything talons, and I'm just gonna charge and roll a bunch of dice and probably get annihilated in the process. But I'm taking as many of you with me as I can.
Never mind. Sorry.
But yeah, no, 40K has a lot of ridiculous stuff. If you like the more humorous side of things, look at Trazen the Infinite and Kaphikas Kane, because those stories are absolutely hilarious. And you don't have to buy models. They have an entire book, well, for lack of a better term, library called the Black Library. There is a lot of lore to be consumed when it comes to 40K.
Wait a minute. Did YouTube block my last comment, or did someone else? I didn't do anything. I didn't even touch anything. So
Yeah, YouTube's just being a dick.
Yeah, it's probably YouTube. Apparently, they've been very touchy about comments lately.
but all of them have the but all of them have the same Minesweeper-esque forks.
Yeah.
Someone doesn't want old underwear criticized. You have wrenches should have not been blocked unless it violated Raquel's rules. Well, I've
seen it censor me and like for no reason before, so.
But I do have like block words in place, but they're only like really inappropriate.
Well, he might have been using one and not in the context he would normally use.
Oh.
Well, I know for a fact, based upon one of the investment things I was talking about earlier, if you try to super chat or normal chat MMTLP, it'll be immediately blocked by YouTube. So they have become very touchy.
Yeah, no, thank you. I don't want to be in YouTube's crosshairs. No thanks. YouTube is pro old underwear. Yeah, I guess YouTube is for some reason YouTube is touchy with your comment, or I don't know why.
I guess they don't like black and red striped underwear for whatever reason. Maybe it's a little too Greco-Roman for them.
Yes. Oh, that totally reminds me. Uh, all on my YouTube will block a comment regardless of holding a wrench. Oh, did not know that. For example, if you have old blocked, YouTube sometimes will block the word cold.
Oh, okay. I guess that makes some sense.
Interesting.
Yeah, that sounds like YouTube. They are, let's just say their moderation team is rather incompetent.
I would say so.
Or more specifically, lack thereof a moderation team because they outsourced it mostly to AI.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to like be in YouTube's crosshairs, because it's very difficult now to get a actual human response.
Right.
I'd be surprised if you can actually get one at all.
Uh-huh. So that's why I don't want to be in YouTube's crosshairs.
And I do not blame you.
Oh, we'll see. I'm looking at this. Netflix, Board's Gundam film starring Cindy Sweeney and Noah Centino.
They're just on a rampage of putting her in every movie they can find.
So they're doing a Gundam movie. So I wonder how it's gonna look and all that. If it exactly looks like that Gundam robot in Japan that was still around, well, it is still around, but it's just not in public view, then I wouldn't have any problems with it. Quite curious of how it's gonna look and all that. Did my connection went dead, or is anyone still here?
Oh, we're here.
No,
Yeah.
You're good. I can hear you.
Sorry, I was
Oh.
just reading. I'm feeling kind of tired. I'm starting to read. I'm starting to wind down.
Right on. I'm not gonna go too long. I feel tired and feel sore. It was hardly an important comment, though.
But it's the principle of it, and we're upset with you.
Then you think you mean YouTube?
Yes, it's the principle of it. Maybe he thinks his comment wasn't important, but I think YouTube should mind its fucking business.
I do not disagree.
Yeah.
But look, YouTube, you might not like what I have to say, but you should still allow me to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just see, because like what's going on with YouTube right now, a lot of people have been going on to a certain site called Rumble.
Actually, I kind of want to buy stock in Rumble, just as a proverbial middle finger to Alphabet, aka Google, aka YouTube.
I mean, totally your decision. I think YouTube thought my criticism of old underwear being used as a sale was anti-sustainability. Just joking. Right on.
I want to know what YouTube has against silk underwear.
Beats me. So what have you been up to, Doku?
Well, outside of the whole investment stuff and that very, very difficult fight, mostly just doing data center engineering operations and watching anime.
Ooh, cool. I've been watching some anime right now. I think it's called Can I Have One Last Request or something like that.
Oh, that one was rather amusing.
Yeah, that's one I started watching. Other one is Can You Pass the Monster Meat, My Lady?
I haven't seen that one.
She likes, it's about like about a woman, like, that she likes to eat monsters and stuff, monster meat. And she gets betrothed to, like, I think a duke, I think.
Oh, did you watch the final season of My Hero Academia?
No, I do want to get around to that, like, for sure. The other one I've been watching, I'm trying to remember. It's a bit of a difficult name. No, that's not it.
Well, I would try to help you out with the name, but
Hold on. Let me look it up real quick.
oh, one that I did to finish that started out pretty good, but I can't say if it is any good because I haven't finished it. Obviously, is Gachakuda.
Maybe that's the one I'm numbering.
Is it the one where the dude's kind of like in a slum town and somebody gets murdered and they toss him into
Hell or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's Gachakuda.
Yeah. Yep, that's the one.
Yeah, I got to episode 7 out of 24 on that one. I actually thought that one was pretty good. I just haven't had a chance to finish it. Oh, it has an 8.2 on my anime list. Also, there is To Your Eternity Season 3 that I need to watch.
Sorry, my browser is being stupid.
Yeah, if you haven't seen To Your Eternity,
Okay.
I would definitely suggest that one.
Sentenced to Be a Hero, MF Ghost Season 3.
Oh, MF Ghost is good. I like MF Ghost a lot. That's basically a sequel to Initial D.
What's the other one with that? Oh, the Darwin Incident is good.
I haven't seen that one.
There's Hell Paradise Season 2.
Oh,
That's
Hell's
mostly it.
Paradise is wild.
What's the other one I've been watching?
Also, Sentence to Be a Hero. At least episode 1 was really, really good. 2 and 3 kind of come across as a bit lackluster, but the first episode is really, really good. Also, that's something I've kind of noticed as a trend within anime recently. When they release a first episode that's 45 to 56 minutes long, it usually sticks pretty well, but the follow-up episodes kind of don't follow up very well. And they start off, they set the expectation really high, and it's difficult to meet that bar going forward.
Right on. I'm just trying to look for the one I watched a few days ago. Where the heck is it? Whoops. No. I don't want to play that. Go back. Saw it a few days ago. Where the heck is it? Oh, My Hero Academia Vigilantes season 2 is out. That's not the one I'm looking for, though.
I will say My Hero Academia had a relatively satisfying ending. There could have been a few loose strings they could have tied up, but it's not anything really worth mentioning. Like, for the most part, it was pretty good.
There's Togen Aniki. That was good. Campfire cooking in the other world with my Acerb skill. That was good.
I didn't really like the second season of that one all that much.
Aww.
I don't know. By the time it
past,
hit like mid-season, I was kind of like, eh.
There's past the Monster Meat My Lady. Ooh, Disney's Twisted Wonderland animation. I liked that one. That was fine.
No, I didn't watch that one.
I watched Record of Ragnarok 3, but no, that's not the one I'm looking for. Where the heck is it? Sword of the Demon Hunter Gaijin Gento Show.
Oh, I got to episode 2 on that one. That's on my list of ones to finish. From watching the first 2 episodes, I actually quite liked that one.
Right on. Okay, have to run the next part of my review later, folks. Later, Valmite. Thanks for coming here.
Later, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, that's the one. I don't think it's finished. I mean, was it that last episode, or is it still ongoing?
Oh, that reminds me. I need to finish Golden Kamui final season.
Sword of the Demon Hunter. I don't know if it's finished for the season or what?
See, I think I might have that one pulled up.
Okay, so it's just 24 episodes. So I did finish that.
Yeah, I just looked at it. Yeah, that one's done at least until / if we get a season 2.
Yeah, I don't know when the second season is supposed to come out with that one.
Oh, and also we're getting a Fear and Journey's End season 2.
Ooh.
Which I do not know why that one causes social media to go up in such a hissy fit.
Which one?
Fearin'?
Can you spell it out in the private chat?
Yeah, hold on.
Wait, no, wait. Free and the last journey, right?
Yeah, to Journey's End, the one with the elf chick.
Yeah, I'm pretty much liking that one. I don't know.
Except for we bought in the chat.
Yeah, I noticed that. Ignore it.
Alrighty.
Yeah, again, I don't know why Fearin' gets all the social media tizzy that it does. It's a pretty straightforward premise.
I have no idea.
It's like, yeah, the demons are bad. Like, why is this controversial?
Don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I wish I had an answer. If anything, I assume it's just because it's popular, so people want to hate on it because it's popular. I really don't know.
Right, it's like the Kitsune AI. People thought, because her skin was available on Fortnite, you can get it. People, I guess, who are not familiar with her, thought she was AI. No, it's just she's a VTuber, a popular VTuber. Her name just has the word AI in it. She's not actually AI.
Yeah, honestly, let's see, how do I want to phrase this? I understand why people on social media get labeled as tourists. Yeah, somebody gets upset about something, and you look at their comment, and it's like, oh, you clearly have not consumed the source material because you obviously don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, makes sense.
Well, I guess. Well, I'm not really familiar with Kitsune AI, so I guess that would make me a tourist of her.
I'm not familiar with her. That one's probably just because AI is seen as something bad because it's new and people think it's threatening for whatever reason. So as the second someone sees AI, they freak out.
It's definitely eating up the RAM cards for PC and stuff like that because the prices are going up because of it.
Oh yeah, that is a big. Well, that's also the reason the price of silver is going through the roof, and that's not just due to DDR5 RAM cards, but also electrification, robotics, the data center boom. So there's a lot of reasons for that, not just AI. But again, I think a lot of people just see AI and they view it as a threat, and it's not. Controversial opinion. AI is only as good as the person that's entering the prompt. So it's no different than, Photoshop. It's just easier to use Photoshop with more accessibility, but we're not at Terminator and Blade Runner levels yet. So you guys can calm down. It's not as big of a deal as you think it is.
Or like any robot.
But maybe we'll hit those levels at some point in the future. But as it stands right now, I think the only people that feel threatened by AI are the bottom of the barrel. Hey, look, you can't be lazy. And if you are, you should actually be welcoming AI, because all you have to do is learn how to prompt it, and it will actually cut down on your workload. But if you're lazy to the point where you're not even willing to do that and learn how to use the tool effectively, then maybe you can be worried. Because at the end of the day, it's just a tool. Nothing more, nothing less.
Too true.
And also, AI is never going to be able to replace an actual human. And trust me, I've tried. I have tried to use AI to replicate actual prose and writing and actual art, and it's never going to compare to a human. It just isn't. It's nowhere close to that level. So I think the whole situation has been blown out of proportion.
Yeah, I agree with you on that because, for example, the anime Banana Fish was dubbed in AI, but it was so hilariously bad, and with the backlash on that, they pretty much pulled that back. And for me, AI is not perfect. It's not. I don't really think it's been that perfected just yet. In my opinion. Also, like, a lot of voice actors feel like they feel threatened and stuff like that. And the translators as well. I'm like, well, if some of you weren't changing the script, maybe that wouldn't have been the case. But as I said, AI is not really that perfected that well to replace voice acting. I did hear that because of it was the AI dubbed was hilariously bad. They're having someone overseeing the AI dubbing, make sure it is accurate.
Oh, and so the voice actors and the translators, I can kind of understand, and that's more of an outlier. But to be blunt, I don't really have a lot of sympathy for them because of the reason you brought up. If it was just a direct one-to-one translation and you weren't changing it to fit whatever reason you have for altering the translation, it wouldn't be that much of a concern. It's mostly because for example, when the Japanese version says Merry Christmas and you change it to Happy Holidays, and the Japanese version says Merry Christmas, look, yeah, that's not even a point of contention. That's not an excuse. It's you quite literally changed the translation, and it's not even a translation. The Japanese says Merry Christmas, and you changed it to Happy Holidays because you want to be political about it. And yeah, at that point in time, sure, you're probably going to get replaced by AI because you're not being faithful to the source material. And that should apply to everyone.
Right, yeah, what I mean, not all of them, just some of them that are guilty of doing this. I don't mean as a whole. You know what I mean?
And as a whole, I would argue, the translators and localizers, they're probably more at risk. But the voice actors, I mean, they're just that. They're voice actors. So you're still going to have to get someone to fulfill that role. It's more the translators and localizers that are threatened because, again, if you're messing with the translations because you want to push some sort of personal agenda or something like that, and again, it's not faithful to the source material, it makes perfect sense for the creators to say, hey, I don't want you to do that. Therefore, I'm going to replace you and I'm just going to use AI to translate it. But you're still going to have a voice actor to read the lines. So I think the voice actors are fine. It's the translators and localizers that are, more at risk.
Well, I know for sure the Japan's Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry has introduced a policy featuring key principle: no interference in creative works to protect anime, manga, and game creators from Western censorship or influence. So that means if the translators are still doing their slick moves, sneaky moves, changing the script of it, that will go against the policy.
And to be fair, I think that's actually a good policy and it's totally justified because you can't. At the end of the day, I would make this argument. If you're taking the source material and you're changing it to fit your personal belief or your personal agenda, you're basically engaged in vandalism of an intellectual property. And yeah, you deserve to be cut loose. Because your job is not to push an agenda. Your job is not to do creative interpretation. Your job is to just translate and voice act. And if you don't approach the intellectual property in a way that's faithful to what the intellectual property is, they have every right to cut you loose.
Yeah, I agree. And there's also a major FU to the fans, really.
Well, and it definitely doesn't help that not only do they openly admit they do that simply to push their own personal agenda and their own personal beliefs upon everybody else, but they gloat about it. But then they turn around and get upset when people find out they get cut loose. And it's like, look, you brought this upon yourselves. Like,
my question is, with the anime that that has been, with subtitles, yeah, but I mean like the actual dub, of this, they changed the words to fit their beliefs. That isn't that isn't really supposed to be there, as you say, going against the script, stuff like that. Or what they it's already out. Like, what they were supposed to do. You know what I mean?
and that is kind of one of the things that makes you scratch your head a little bit, because anybody can go back and watch the sub and then look at the dub and go, well, wait a second. That's not an accurate representation of what was being said.
Right.
That's just you putting your own personal opinion or your own political agenda or your own spin on something. And, hate to break it to you guys, but Japanese politics and American politics really aren't that aligned. And the excuse that they often use is, well, it's an accurate translation because Western audiences will understand it more. And that is a load of hogwash, because it has nothing to do with Western politics at all. You're just changing the translation because you want to change the actual context of what is being said. And again, I view that as a form of essentially a form of vandalism, because it has absolutely nothing to do with the translation.
Do you know the anime with the dragon girl with the blonde hair, horns, like how?
Oh yeah, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
Yeah, there's a certain scene that was in dub, and what it says in the sub, and what the voice actor said in the dub doesn't make sense, because it wasn't close to the source material. That scene's already in dub. What are you supposed to do after that when it's all said and done?
Yeah, no, like the original translation from Japanese was supposed to be something along the lines of like her outfit was too stuffy or something like that. And then the voiceover was, yeah, she was supposed to be like fighting the patriarchal view or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the localizers and voice actors were gloating about changing it, basically openly admitting to the entire internet, like morons, that yeah, they changed it. It's not faithful to the original translation, and they thought nothing was going to happen. And well, people found out about it, and they were not happy about it.
Right, and the damage is already done, so that's like on there permanently for the dub. Like, what are you supposed to do after that?
Well, and also then they get mad when they realize, oh, the owners of the IP and the studio figured out that you changed it for no other reason than LOL because I can, and then you get fired, and then you want to complain and whinge and moan and cry on social media because you got fired for doing something you shouldn't have done to begin with in the first place. Sorry, I don't have any sympathy for you.
So they were fired, but does that mean that the dub was fixed, or is it still as like the screwed up dub translation for it?
I believe you can find two different versions. I don't know which one is considered official.
I'm assuming that the originals, like if they did redubbed it, I'm assuming the redub, like the re-redub, is more close to the official source.
Again, I would have to go back and double check this because I believe, if I remember correctly, and this only applies to Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, there was a dubbed version that is essentially a direct one-for-one translation of the subbed version, but I don't know if that is considered the official dub.
I would consider that as official dub when the original dub was tampered with.
Yeah, I would have to go back and check, but as far as I'm concerned personally, if you're just dubbing it as a direct one-for-one translation from the Japanese, then I would consider that to be the official dub, not the one that has a localizer and voice actor changing up the dialogue simply to fit whatever personal agenda they have.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there. They even changed the Merry Christmas translation, even when they said Merry Christmas.
Yeah, and that's exactly the one I was bringing up, because it's literally the Japanese version where they say Merry Christmas, and then in the English dub, they say Happy Holidays, but you can go back and listen to the Japanese version, and they say Merry Christmas, albeit with a Japanese accent and dialogue, but it's still obvious they're saying Merry Christmas. And you see things like that, and it's just like, what? Why would you even do this? Do you think people don't know what Merry Christmas in Japanese sounds like? It's absurd. And then they get mad when you point it out. And it's like, dude, they obviously said Merry Christmas. Why did you feel the need to change it? And how on earth are you so entitled to somebody else's intellectual property that you think you have the right to change it simply because reasons? Like, no, dude, that is not your place. You don't have the right to do that. And you definitely don't have the right to get upset when people call you out for it.
Right. Totally agree with you there. 100%. Like, Mr. Kobayashi isn't like the only example. There are a handful of anime that unfortunately that I'm not really familiar with got the same treatment with their dubs. I don't know if those anime are going to be like I don't know if some of them have been redubbed or they have yet to. I have no idea.
I'm not sure myself. I have not seen any new versions of the dub for any of those. I do know there have been like fan dubs that, again, are a direct one-for-one translation from the Japanese. But I don't know if there's been any official statement from the studio. I do know the voice actors got irritated about it because, well, social media called them out for it. Monica Rial looking at you.
Oh yeah, that one particular.
Yeah, she is quite vocal on social media.
Mm-hmm. And what was the other one? She was. I think she was the main character, the main dub voice actress for Gunsmith Cats. She's also like very vocal about it as well.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I forget her name, but I do know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and then the other one that I don't know if it's the same person or not, but she's a redhead and stuff. She's a voice actress.
Yeah, I know. Let's see.
I can't
Monica
remember.
Rial. I think she was the voice actress for Bulma, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, not the original Bulma though.
Yeah, not the original, but I know the other one you're talking about. I don't remember their names. Mostly because I don't really pay attention to them on social media. And I hate to sound like a broken record on this one, but the thing that does drive me nuts about these individuals is they think they're entitled to the intellectual property of the creators and they can change it based on a whim when you're not the author, you're not the mangaka. Like, this is
You're
not
not the
your
creator.
IP to change.
You're not the creator.
Yeah, and again, the level of entitlement is mind-boggling. And then when people call them out and say, like, look, your job is to translate this and voice act this, but not to change the IP or the dialogue. And the fact that you feel entitled to do so, and then you get upset when you get called out on it, is astonishing. Like, again, that's not your job, nor do you have the right to do something like that. Again, it's crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
It also illustrates, no pun intended, just how little respect these people have for the actual creators. And to me, that is the biggest sign of disrespect you could possibly show. Like, you don't care about the creator's vision, you don't care about the dialogue, you don't care about the fans, you don't care about the intellectual property itself. The only thing you care about is your own personal opinions, and you think you're entitled to the ability to change something based on a whim because it fits your worldview. Like, no, that's not how this works. And if you do such a thing, yeah, you deserve to be fired. So if you do something like that and you end up getting replaced by AI, I'm sorry, I don't have any sympathy for you. You brought it on yourself.
Mm-hmm. Trying to like look up that voice actress.
Yeah, I used to pay more attention to them, but I do feel like they're getting phased out. So I stopped paying as much attention to them as I used to.
Trying to remember.
Also, it is kind of a shame how disrespectful a lot of these localizers and voice actors and actresses are to the original IP. Like, that's changing something based upon a whim and your own personal politics is incredibly disrespectful.
Yes, I found her. Jamie Marchi.
Oh, yeah, I know who that is.
She was in Miss Kobayashi Dragon Maid.
Yeah, she's the one that was actually bragging about changing that line
Yeah.
from the outfit being stuffy to, fighting against the patriarchy, whatever the hell it was. Jamie Marchi is an extremely arrogant and pompous individual. And to be honest, I'm glad she got fired. I have zero sympathy for her.
And then Amanda Wynn Lee as well.
Yep.
And Gunsmith Cats.
Yep.
Yeah, I think those are the top three. Monica Rial, Jamie Marchi, and Amanda Windley.
Well, at the end of the day, you guys did a really good job, and when it comes to shooting yourself in your own foot, and now the only thing you're going to have to do is complain on social media. And from what I can tell, social media is not very sympathetic towards you guys, so good luck with that.
Yeah. And Japanese legislator, they are putting forward a law on altering Japanese media. Awesome. Good.
And I don't blame them. And I would say the same thing for any other localizer or any other translator, because at the end of the day, again, broken record here, it's not your place, position, or privilege, yeah, I'm going to use their word against them, to change the intellectual property of something you do not own. That is, in my opinion, that is considered vandalism. And so if you get punished for it, good.
Yeah. Like, you're basically changing the creator's work, and you're changing the IP without a permission.
Yeah, it's vandalism of an intellectual property. Like, it's not your creative work. It's not the word of the author or the mangaka or the director. It's you taking a liberty that was never yours to begin with. And you can't do that.
No. Something I believe, it isn't that like, well, I'm not really sure exactly, but isn't that like I'm not really sure. I think it's against the law to do that.
I would have to go look at what copyright law is, but
Yeah.
I would argue that it likely is against copyright law. It most likely just hasn't been enforced or even challenged in a court. But if it ever did go to court, I would argue the court is probably going to side on whoever is the owner of the intellectual property, not the localizer or the translator. Because again, the localizer and the translator don't have rights or ownership over the intellectual property.
Right. Totally agree with you there.
Yeah, it would essentially be like me translating Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto into a pro-capitalism text, which completely destroys the entire argument, because that's not what was written, and that's not the point of the text. It becomes something completely different.
Right. So what do you think? My question is, do you know Mappa, which is a company in a Japanese studio of anime, like, Chainsaw, Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh yeah,
Studio
Mappa.
Yeah, Studio Mappa, working with Netflix to bring anime in a more global audience, so a sense, and people are panicking because I think they're automatically thinking, "Oh, it's going to be bullshit," but they're forgetting one small thing here. As I said a little earlier, in Japanese Ministry of Economy, Trade, and Industry has introduced a policy featuring key principle of no interference in creative works to protect anime, manga, and game creators from Western censorship or influence. So, with that said, I don't really think there's anything to be panicking about. And it's just one Japanese animation studio. There's 500 other animation studios in Japan.
Hmm. So, I gotta think about this one for a second. On the one hand, yeah, sure, it's just one animation studio. But on the other hand, it is Netflix we're talking about. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, there might be a law implemented by the Japanese government, but I just don't really trust Netflix to be. I don't trust Netflix to honor the agreement.
Right. And that could be the case, which I'm hoping it's not. But if it does, let's say the Mappa studio just shot themselves in the foot.
And that comes to the other point is I haven't seen anything that leads me to believe Netflix would honor the agreement, even if it's by legal order or mandate of the Japanese government, because well, they haven't given me a reason to think as much. So it honestly, I would actually feel better if it was Amazon Prime, and that's saying something.
Hmm.
Because I don't trust Netflix. They have a track record of twisting and distorting IP even when it shouldn't be twisted and distorted. And I would point to things like Cowboy Bebop and Death Note. It they they completely twisted and distorted those intellectual properties into something that barely resemble, if anything at all, the original IP it was based upon. And that should have been something that would be legally challenged, but nothing happened there. It At least Amazon Prime, when they bought the rights to not Lord of the Rings, but the other supplemental intellectual properties, it at least gave them the legal wiggle room where they could actually change things and not get in legal trouble for that. Versus Netflix didn't have the same type of wiggle room, but yet they still did it anyways, and they got away with it. So I think Mappa made a horrible judgment call on that one.
So well, I guess we just have to see what happens. If they shoot themselves in the foot, then they shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they have to learn the hard way. I know that there's quite a few anime studios that are viewing the Western audience as a way to expand their reach and access a new audience. I would advise them, not that they're listening, but if by some chance they are, I would advise them to err on the side of caution, because even with anime fans in the Western media, Death Note and Cowboy Bebop, as far as Netflix was concerned, was received very negatively. You would be much better off going with a studio that is going to protect your creative liberties and be faithful to the intellectual property, as opposed to handing it off to someone who might have a larger streaming platform but is not going to respect the IP and is going to intentionally try to subvert the intellectual property to insert their own messaging, whatever that might be.
Right. I know there are some people, like, on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, saying they're pretty much gonna, like, with this deal they made with Netflix. Of course, there's some creative works that are already in production, and some of those people said they were going to avoid the Marvel Studio like the plague because of this.
Oh, and also Netflix has a very questionable reputation based upon some of their decisions in the past, and
Mhm.
and that by extension is going to go to MAPA as well because they chose to work with they chose to work with Netflix. And I know the big one, the elephant in the proverbial room, is the public response to Netflix and the movie Cuties. Ever since then, their reputation has been very choppy.
Well, it is not. It's just that, like the woke stuff and children's TV shows on Netflix as well.
And so I bring up Cuties because that was the big one that got mainstream media attention. And there's some of the shows that they market towards children, which have, again, questionable messaging at best. And then you can also see the mishandling of intellectual properties, such as, again, Death Note and Cowboy Bebop. It's just I would not go with Netflix. I think this was a miscalculation on MAPPA's part. They would have been better off going with HBO or Amazon Prime. And again, I'm saying Amazon Prime, knowing how badly they executed the Rings of Power. And somehow that would still be a better choice than Netflix, which is saying a lot.
Right.
Now we'll see. It could be that Netflix realizes that partnering with MAPPA, they have a proverbial golden goose on their hands, and maybe they don't interfere with the IP and they redeem themselves. I mean, that is definitely a possibility. I just don't know how likely it is.
Guess we won't know for sure for 2 years.
Well, we're gonna find out one way or the other. I mean, if they're faithful to the IP, they definitely have the money and the production value to make it good, as long as they don't interfere with it and they just make it a faithful adaptation of the IP. But if they choose to treat it like, again, Death Note or Cowboy Bebop, well, it's going to be thoroughly rejected by the fan base, and it's going to crash and burn.
Right. Pretty much. So if it does go that way, which I hope it doesn't, but that is yet to be determined. So he says they're also concerned with the influence of outside markets making changes to Japanese creative works. Yep. All right. I have somewhere else I have to be. See you guys. All right.
Later,
Thanks for coming, Sashi. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I will say this much. I hope Netflix is faithful to the IP and produces a faithful adaptation, because they do have the production capability and the talent to make a good show, so long as they don't mess with it. Just do a faithful adaptation and it'll be great, and it'll make them a ton of money and the fans will enjoy it. But if they don't, well, the exact opposite will happen.
Yeah, that's gonna go really south if that does happen.
Yep.
Well,
but again, time will tell. If they're smart, they'll just let the producers do their thing. Again, make a faithful adaptation. Don't mess with the source material. Don't try to change the IP. We already know they can get good actors and actresses. That's not a question. And they have a lot of money, so the production value could be very, very high. All they have to do is just not mess with it. Yeah, exactly.
Not fuck with it.
Yep. Don't try to subvert it. Don't try to twist it. Just do a faithful 1-to-1 adaptation and just put it out there for people to consume, and it will be fantastic.
Yes, totally agree with you there.
I wish I could say the same thing to Amazon Prime about the Rings of Power because that was
Well, I would
a
say the same
tremendous
thing.
failure.
I would say the same thing. The state of like comics, like DC Comics and Marvel. I mean, that's the thing I saw on Twitter like a couple days ago. Some kind of like what was it? Let me see if I can.
Yeah, well, I have lost all faith in Warner Brothers and Disney to produce anything noteworthy. It it just Warner Brothers seems just very out of touch and maybe a tad bit lazy. And Disney just seems ideologically captured to a point where they cannot produce anything that the average person wants to watch. But maybe Lionsgate still has some decent creative juice left in the tank, but Disney and Warner Brothers are it. They have no gas. They don't even have fumes left. Which in a weird way is actually kind of impressive. And more specifically, I'm looking at Disney.
Here it is. DC Comics President Jim Lee says that Japanese manga and anime is incredibly powerful. I often find myself wondering what is missing in Western comics and why aren't they able to achieve the same flavor? I think manga has an advantage over American comics, which are mostly about superheroes, and that's where the majority of sales and readers are concentrated. In Japan, it is closer to literature. Anyone can read it. It's not just hero stories. There's a much wider range of genders, like stories about cooking and soccer. You can draw stories from that. So I'm very happy that the manga has been so successful because it gives me a goal to aim for. Well, here's a goal for you, Mr. Jim Lee. Like I think everyone can say, get rid of the growth shit in comics in general.
Oh, and actually, I'm going to be a little more fair than that, even though I agree with you 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But Jim Lee, if somehow you're ever listening to this, I can tell you exactly what the secret sauce that you're missing is. Stop being preachy and talking down to people and focus on being entertaining. That's all you have to do. Just be entertaining, tell a good story, and maybe you can sprinkle in some social commentary, but don't make that the hyper focus of your entire show or your entire movie. Make it entertaining first, and the political messaging can come second. That's all you need. That's all you got to do. It's not hard. It's not difficult. Just tell a good story.
Plus, I do want to point out, of course, DC Comics and Marvel are about superheroes, of course. I know they don't have a wide range of genders, genders, like anime does, but they have I know there's multiple universes and DC Comics and Marvel. I get that, but I feel like I feel like itself. Of course, it's too much propaganda in the DC in both companies of the comics, Marvel and DC Comics. Too much propaganda, too much preaching, too much lecturing, and you pretty much are making what the characters stand for. You pretty much change that to the point it's totally against the character. You pretty much are like undoing decades of work that your predecessors have put much a foothold in.
Well, and that is another aspect of things, and I guess I would frame it this way:
Go ahead.
if you have an already established character,
Mm-hmm.
and you try to change it,
Yep.
it's no longer that character that everybody is familiar with.
Yep.
You could just as easily say, all right, I want this particular character to be this type of thing. You could make a new character. It's really not that difficult. But what's really disappointing about all of this is the individuals who would try to do such a thing are so creatively bankrupt and they have so little faith that they would rather take an already established character that has name and brand recognition and try to twist it into something that it's not, because they think that's going to put butts in seats and people are going to go watch it because, well, it's, Captain this or Miss that. And then when people actually go watch it and they realize this is not the character that I know or grew up, experiencing, and then they get a negative reaction to it, then they're suddenly confused. Why don't people like this? Well, the answer is very simple. It's because you gave them a character that isn't faithful to the character that they grew up knowing. So of course they're going to have a negative interpretation of it because you promised them something and you gave them something totally different. Like when I go to see a Captain America movie, I expect Captain America. When I go to see a Black Widow movie, I expect Black Widow. When I go to see Batman, I expect Batman. When I go to see Joker, I expect Joker. If you give me Joker and I end up watching Penguin, I'm not going to like that because it's not the Joker. It's not that complicated. The same way, if I go to watch a Batman movie and I end up getting Captain America, I'm not going to like it because I'm expecting Batman, not Captain America. If I go to watch Black Widow and I get Miss Marvel, I'm not going to like that either. And it has nothing to do with the fact that she's a woman. It has nothing to do with the skin color of the character. Like, again, you give me Iron Man and I'm expecting Black Panther, or if you give me Black Panther and I get Iron Man, I'm not going to like that either because you're not giving me what I wanted. You sold me a lie. And if you don't believe me, I will give you the best example that we've seen from Disney and probably the best example of subverting expectations that we've seen in the past 20, 30 years. The second Disney gave me The Last Jedi and I saw despondent, pessimistic, narcissistic Luke Skywalker eating weird green alien milk on a abandoned island who is just given up on everything, dude, that's not Luke Skywalker at all. Why are you trying to sell me on, again, pessimistic, narcissistic, nothing really matters Luke Skywalker, who is supposed to be the hero of the entire Star Wars franchise, and you subverted him to the point where it's not even Luke Skywalker? There's a reason people didn't like it. It's because that's not who Luke Skywalker is. His character is very well established. He will fight against adversity in the face of insurmountable and unwinnable odds. And you turn around and turn that character into someone who just threw up his hands and gave up. And you expect me to accept that as Luke Skywalker? No.
No.
Again, no one's going to believe that because it's not true or faithful to the spirit of the character. Luke Skywalker would never do that. And that's the reason The Last Jedi was not successful. It's not a complicated thing to understand. It's simply you're trying to subvert expectations because I don't know reasons. I don't even know who thought that was a good idea, let alone who greenlit that. How on earth can you present that as Luke Skywalker and expect the fandom to accept it? That is insane to me.
You're right.
But for some reason, they want us to accept it. And you could make the argument, well, they don't want a strong male character, they don't want a strong white male character, or they just want to replace Luke Skywalker with somebody else. I really don't care what the reason is. At the end of the day, they destroyed the character of Luke Skywalker and what he stood for. That's why it failed. Because at that point in time, it wasn't Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, like with this topic itself, I think I saw it. Let's see, I saw it like let's see.
Although I will put a caveat in there real quick. If Luke Skywalker had been corrupted by the dark side and you turned him into a Sith, that actually could have been a very interesting storyline. But Rian Johnson's not creative enough to do something like that. Because, look, don't get me wrong, I probably would not have liked that direction. But that caveat aside, Sith Luke Skywalker would have been terrifying and a badass. Like, I would not want to see Sith Luke. That would be terrifying to go up against. And also, it would have given Rey somebody significant to fight against, as opposed to Kylo, who was, well, for lack of a better term, just kind of a toddler. He was not intimidating or scary in any way, shape, or form. He was just kind of a whiny little child. I was not scared or intimidated by him as a villain in any way, shape, or form.
Right. Well, for what I can't really find it, but supposedly it's just like speculation and rumor here. Supposedly Disney is going back and looking at the scripts that George Lucas did that they themselves thrown out because a certain person named Kathleen is gone in Star Wars.
I mean,
and people are saying a little too late.
Well, and that's the thing, like,
kind of true.
I mean, it's good that Kathleen Kennedy is gone because she single-handedly managed to destroy one of, if not the most successful science fiction franchise of all time, which is an achievement, not an admirable achievement, not a good achievement, but an achievement. But I do kind of agree with the people saying too little, too late, because even if they reboot and retcon the entire thing, I just simply don't care about Star Wars anymore. As far as I'm concerned,
especially with Carrie Fisher is no longer with us.
Yeah, and we're never gonna see Harrison Ford in there again. We're never gonna see Hamill in there again. Like, Carrie Fisher is obviously dead. She's not with us anymore, so we're not gonna see the original trio. Like, I don't care about Rey. What is there left? Like, why would I care about Star Wars at this point in time, considering everything Disney has done with that IP? I'm not interested.
Right. Even if they do like go back to the old scripts they threw out and did a movie that George Lucas pretty much set out for them, the damage hasn't been done, and it's gonna be really hard to get the fans back who used to love the IP.
I mean, maybe, and this is a big maybe.
Right.
But maybe if they did Shadows of the Empire and they do Dash Rider, I might go watch that. But that is a big maybe.
Right.
And that would also require them bringing back the the expanded universe, and I don't know if Disney is going to do that because that would basically be them admitting defeat, and I don't think they will. Or maybe they'll bring back certain stories selectively, which again, Shadows of the Empire, I could see that being a pretty good movie or TV series. But it is going to boil down to how much demand is there for more Star Wars, and how much faith does the fandom have in Disney to produce a good Star Wars film or TV show. And I think they have really killed the goodwill of the fandom. And I think a lot of people probably agree with me, where I'm not that interested anymore.
Yeah, like I said, it's not going to be easy.
I mean, maybe they managed to hit the ball out of the proverbial park, and they do really, really well, and it sparks interest in the franchise again. But I'm gonna have to see it before I believe it. And I don't think modern day Disney has the creative talent or the guts to actually do something like that. Because mostly at the end of the day, putting the lack of talent aside, and that goes to some different aspects, specifically the Writers Guild strike and all of that. But putting all that aside, I don't think Disney has the type of pull that's going to be able to get people in theaters and watch Star Wars as it stands right now, because they've effectively flooded the market, and it's like, look, I just don't care. You're going to have to try to bring that spark back, and I don't know how you do that. I really don't. I hope they do. I mean, I love Star Wars, but I don't like modern Star Wars. It's not that I hate it. It's more that I'm indifferent towards it. And I would argue that's actually the worst position you could be in, because if you hate something, you at least still have some kind of interest in it, even if that interest is negative. But if you're indifferent, I mean, what do you do? Hey, you got to rekindle that spark. You got to rekindle that love, and I don't see them pulling that off.
Yeah, I guess it's just wait and see kind of thing, I guess.
I mean, if they're successful, I will be happily surprised.
True.
If it was up to me, viewing it from a purely business standpoint, the best decision Disney could do in regards to the Star Wars franchise right now is do what Marvel did in the 1990s, license it out and let somebody else take control of it, and then collect royalties on whatever they produce, because Disney is not equipped to handle the Star Wars franchise, and they've proven it. That they should license it out. That would be financially the best thing they could possibly do. And I would also apply that to Marvel, because they have mishandled that franchise equally as bad, if not worse. I do think Warner Brothers can salvage the DC expanded universe. I think they have a much better chance than Disney salvaging the MCU. Because the MCU right now is an absolute mess. And even bringing back Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom is not going to save them. Ed, sorry. Hate to break it to you, Bob, but Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom is not going to save the MCU, and that's mostly because, A, you completely botched Captain America, You completely botched the Thunderbolts, which should have been an easy win if you went with the comic run. And you completely destroyed the character of Black Widow, who should have gotten a movie before Endgame. And then you had She-Hulk, which was nothing but a cringe fest of a dumpster fire. And then you had the Marvels, which most people have forgotten for good reason. And that's all you have of note. There's nothing good over the past 5 years, as far as Marvel is concerned, that you've produced. The closest thing you got to producing something good was Loki, which was fine, and then you had WandaVision, which again was fine. And that's the best you can produce, given what was handed to you on a silver platter. Like, dude, that's bad. Like, that's really bad. With the exception of Deadpool, which part of the reason Deadpool was so successful is because like 50% of that movie was just making fun of Disney and Fox. Like, that was just Ryan Reynolds pointing out your failures and making fun of you. And it was extraordinarily successful. That's how unpopular your control of the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been, where the most successful movie you've had is Ryan Reynolds making fun of you. Like, that's not a good track record, homie.
No. Speaking of like Warner Brothers, like I wonder what's like going on with them right now.
I don't think they really know what to do, but to be fair, them sitting back and trying to figure out how best to approach the DC cinematic universe or expanded universe is a much smarter decision than what Disney chose to do. That being said, doing nothing doesn't really result in much, but at least you're not burning your intellectual property to the ground. So I guess you're winning by omission.
Like, didn't like Paramount like try to get their hands on Warner Brothers, but it
Yeah, there was like a trust or monopoly lawsuit that prevented them from doing that. Which I'm not sure I 100% agree with, but again, it at least prevented them from destroying the IP. So, well, there's that.
Yeah, Paramount launched a hostile takeover bid for Warner Brothers. Discovery seeking to derail Netflix deal, but in the end,
oh god, if Netflix gets their hand on it, it's gonna be a dumpster fire.
But for what I'm reading right now, on January 20th, which is like my birthday, Netflix has officially agreed to pay all cash for Warner Brothers. The move aims to thwart Paramount's rival takeover campaign. Shareholders will be able to vote on the $83 billion deal by April. So, still a tug of war for Warner Brothers at this point.
You know what's so disappointing about Warner Brothers in regards to the DC comic universe?
Yeah.
There's at least 3 stories that, if they did right now, would blow anything the MCU has done out of the water. And it wouldn't be that difficult to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is if you do Dark Knight Metal and the Batman Who Laughs, you could do that as a one-off, and it would be fantastic. Like, Audiences have already shown that they have an appetite for a more mature R-rated Batman type of story. So I mean, again, Dark Knight Metal, Batman Who Laughs, that fits that niche perfectly.
Pretty much. Also, with DC Comics, Marvel, and Star Wars, and also, I guess, Star Trek as well, and Doctor Who, there needs to be a lot of cleanup and get back on track, so to speak, before all this mess happened. But I don't really think that's going to happen for a long time, maybe like a decade or two.
Well, I guess another issue that a lot of the creators have when it comes to these types of comic book movies.
Research. They are doing their proper research. That's with Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel, and DC Comics. There's so much like past material. Some of these new creators, like the old creators, like like for instance, one of the comic artists for Spider-Man recently passed away. I can't remember his name. Forgive me. Like much of these new artists, creators for these IPs aren't really doing the research for it.
Well, research is one thing, but a bigger issue is they believe that these types of IPs, whether it's Spider-Man, Batman, Captain America, what have you, and they think their target audience is teenage boys when it's not. It's actually middle-aged men at this point in time, because most young children don't really care about superheroes. Most young to middle-aged women don't really care about superheroes. Like, your target demographic is guys between the age of 23 and 45, and they don't really want cartoon superhero movies. They want darker, more mature interpretations of what they grew up on as a kid.
Right, I totally agree with you. For example, I'll kind of put my own opinion in here. I think people do still want to see superhero stuff. Like my example, My Hero Academia. Has pretty proven. The problem is they're not doing enough research. They're putting their own propaganda into it. And yes, I agree with you. Like, what they need to stop rehashing? Okay, we already know the origins of Spider-Man and Batman. What about the other stories that we haven't seen yet on the silver screen that many of people have read in the comic books?
Well, again, like if you did Dark Knight Metal or the Batman Who Laughs, that would actually probably be very well received as a miniseries on, say, Netflix or Amazon Prime. That would actually do very good, in my opinion. Or another one that a lot of people probably have overlooked and are unfamiliar with is if someone at Warner Brothers looked at the Tom King run of Mr. Miracle and made a movie based around that, that would probably do fantastic. Because that is a story that is not really geared towards children. It's actually kind of a philosophical and existential crisis. And again, the comic book audience would probably receive something like that very well, because yes, it is a superhero story, but it's one that has much more mature themes. And because of its philosophical nature, it's not left-leaning, it's not right-leaning. It's kind of both, but neither at the same time. And again, being philosophical in nature, it doesn't have to be preachy, but it is still very much a thought experiment more than anything else. And putting a type of story like that in front of people so that they can draw their own conclusions about it, it would be fantastic. But it's just they either A, don't have the creative capacity to do something like that, or they simply don't want to do it because it's not leaning in one direction or the other, and they simply want to choose one ideological side of the coin, and they don't want to present a story that is not fundamentally tribalistic in nature. And that, I think, is a big problem with the superhero genre, is it's leaning towards one side or the other as far as political tribalism goes. And that kind of kills the story.
Pretty much agree with you, but I'm really, like, since, like, all this mess with propaganda is, like, going out the window with AKA wokeness, like, I really hope we're gonna be more back on track with the with the familiar IPs, and I hope that is the route we're going to. It seems likely, but it's gonna really take a long time, maybe a decade or two, to get back on track. But I guess we just have to see. But either way, I'm still gonna watch what I enjoy watching and reading, regardless. But I am going to end things here tonight. I will work on this another day. For tomorrow, or later on today, I should say, since it's already midnight. Later on today, I'll be playing Fortnite with my friend Trickster and Captain Bob. Let me just get the link for that real quick. Just gotta go log in real quickly. That's that. Here's my gaming channel. There's my gaming channel. You guys can follow me on. Please subscribe to me there. I would appreciate it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to me on Rumble, since I am streaming on Rumble as well, and stuff. Hey, Lady V. Hey, so you've been lurking the whole time, aren't you? Haven't you? Sorry. Thanks for being here. Thank you for the super stream tonight, Raquel. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Take care, everyone. Yes. But I want to say thank you to, let's see here. Hopefully I have everyone. Vile Mike, Sashi, Eleven Pie Citrus, Sandra Horn, Lady Mest, and our panel guests, Doku and Warrior Kitty. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Yep, listening. Thank you so much. I will probably be back to probably either beginning of I'm not really sure. Maybe Monday or Tuesday, or possibly Thursday. I don't know. So it could be Monday or Thursday. We'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna pretty much call it for tonight. Thanks for everyone for being here this evening. Please, it's supposed to get really very, very cold in my area this weekend. So hopefully everyone's like staying safe and warm this weekend, if it's gonna go in your area and stuff like that. And I wish you guys a very good rest of your evening. And I will catch you guys later. Laters. Annyeong. If this is your first time being here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RaquelSSG2211. Catch you later.